To Unity of New Westminster's Sunday celebration service. Please join us for our opening song today, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Welcome back. I am Reverend Rona Segarra, and it is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of Unity of New Westminster's spiritual community located in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Whether you are joining us on Zoom, on Facebook, or on YouTube, I do extend a warm welcome to all of you. If you would like to stay connected with us, please subscribe to our newsletter by going to our website, or liking us on Facebook, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. We would love to stay connected with you. The Unity movement offers spiritual principles for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider to be our primary way shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom in faith traditions all over the planet. Whatever the God of your understanding, you are welcome here. At Unity of New Westminster, all are welcome, all are worthy, all are celebrated. We open our service in prayer. I'm grateful that I speak to you from the traditional land of the Semiahmoo First Nation. Unity of New Westminster rests on the land of the Kakite First Nation, and we give thanks for First Nations peoples everywhere for their custody of this beautiful land. Today, we take time to be still and become aware of our oneness, of our connection with the creative energy that we call God, and with our connection with each other. We give thanks for that connection, which happens whether we are in each other's physical presence or not. A connection which binds us all together, a network of all. We acknowledge that there is only one presence, one power, that power which is understood by many names, by many faces and many paths. And we affirm that regardless of the name, the face, or the path of our understanding, that we are one human family. And it is in that knowledge of our oneness, that we send a blessing of love, of peace, of contentment to every being on this planet, every being, regardless of all the labels which threaten to divide us. We are one. We hold in prayer those who are enduring challenges in their lives at this time. Our neighbors who have experienced unprecedented flooding in the Fraser Valley and other parts of British Columbia and northern Washington state. We hold in prayer those who are suffering from weather events in various areas of the world. We hold in prayer those who are suffering from COVID-19, those who are sick with the disease, those who love them. We hold in prayer our caregivers, our medical professionals, those who work to protect us. We hold in prayer all who suffer from medical uncertainty, financial uncertainty, food uncertainty, blessing all in the light of love, comfort, and peace. For this intention and for the power that we have to bless, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen. Christmas is just around the corner, and every week in the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, that season that we call Advent, we light a candle in our Advent wreath. And today's candle is for peace. And it is my pleasure to welcome Aaron Johannes, who will read the daily word and light the candle for us. Aaron is the president of our board. He is someone who has become so important in our ministry. He leads us in workshops. He is a skilled graphic facilitator. And most importantly, he has this calm, gentle, loving, inclusive presence that makes everybody feel safe and welcomed. We are so grateful that Aaron is part of our community. Please welcome with me Dr. Aaron Johannes to light our peace candle.
Good morning, friends. My name is Aaron Johannes. I am the president of the board of Unity of New Westminster. I'm so excited about our new board, and I'm tempted to just start talking about them and tell you all about what they're doing and thinking, but I'm going to get on to the daily word, which is really my job here. My first job is to light this, the second candle of Advent. And then I want to talk to you about the daily word. The daily word today is peace. Peace flows through me and blesses the world. is the affirmation. The light of God shines within all people. I pause to remember this truth as I consider the world and my relationship to it. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." John 14:27. The same divine light that lived in Jesus is shining brightly in me. My peace is a gift I choose to give to the world. I bless the world by affirming the kingdom of God is among us here and now. It is through this Christ-centered awareness that I project a consciousness of peace. I live, move, and have my being in the light, love, and peace of God. I expand my awareness of divine ideas through prayer and meditation, and I do my part to uplift the consciousness of the entire planet. I am walking in the light of God, and I am at peace. Our scripture today is, "The nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it." Revelations 21:24. I hope you have a lovely service. I look forward to seeing you either here virtually at some point or in person in the future. We care about you all, and I hope you have everything you need. And if you don't, please let us know. Really. Bye.
It is my pleasure to welcome Thomas DeSchutter as our guest speaker this week. Thomas has spoken at Unity of New Westminster before, and people enjoyed his speaking so much. He is a lover of life. He is a champion for what is possible. And one of the things that delights Thomas is assisting people to cultivate their innate wisdom and to use spiritual teachings to help them take their business and their personal lives to new heights. Thomas is the board president at the recently created Unity of Vancouver Island, which has been emerging of the 3 Unity centers on Vancouver Island. So Unity Victoria, Unity Comox Valley, and Nanaimo have all come together to create one center called Unity of Vancouver Island, and Thomas is the board president. As if he's not busy enough with that, Thomas is a ministerial student at Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, and he has podcasts, he has YouTube channels, he has spoken to thousands of people in various settings around the world. He is so inspirational and so approachable that I know that you will enjoy hearing him speak. He lives on Vancouver Island along with his wife, 2 daughters, a dog, goats, and guinea pigs. I hope you enjoy Thomas DeSchutter as much as I do. I know you will.
Wow, it's so great to be with you today. And this marks the second week of Advent. Week 2, we're talking about peace. I invite you to just take a moment right now. Just take a moment exactly where you are. Just breathe. Let it go. And I invite you to open yourself up. Maybe there's some stuff this morning, this afternoon, wherever time it is, wherever you are, that's been present for you, that maybe has you focused on some other thing, some other situation at this time. And I just invite you to let that go, to bring yourself here, be present. And know that whatever there is from this talk today that might resonate with you, you'll be sure to hear it. And the things that aren't for you, they'll just go on by. And so it is. So our intention is to create new clarity in our thinking that will reveal the power that we hold within our own being to manifest the thoughts and empower us to live full out. And I love this quote from William W. Perky. You've got to dance like there's nobody watching, love like you'll never be hurt, sing like there's nobody listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. And with that, I want to start off by just acknowledging that it's December, and in December we have the power of life. Yes, that power of life. Now, in our body, it is held down in our lower genital regions. That's where that power, that energy of life stems from. And here's the beautiful thing about power. It's our ability to transform energy, right? We can take energy and move it into life. So, for example, we drink water, we eat food, we digest things, we take in information, we interact with other people. We listen to things, audiobooks, we read stuff. All of this stuff is energy, and we're transforming that into our life force. Thoughts, feelings, food, our connections, perceptions, we energize and we de-energize as well. So there's things that can take us down, that can pull our energy from us. Maybe there's relationships in your life that, that term, suck the energy. Situations that suck the energy out of you in a particular moment, in a particular setting. And that too is important for us to know. It's important that we can see what are the things that bring life to us. What are the things that energize my creative being? When I think of energy, I often think of Genesis and that first breath, that breath being given to us. Much like I remember, witnessing the birth of my children. I'll never forget that. It's like I can see myself there in that moment. We have twin girls. They're teenagers now. But when I think back to that moment, to my wife laying there and being the vessel for which these children were growing, and then when they came out and they let out those first cries and took in that first breath, and they showed us each child as they birthed into the world, and I can't forget that moment, that life force, that life energy. And we can celebrate that this month. We can celebrate that every day, but in particular, the month of December, we can focus maybe every day going forward on that life, that energy of life that we have. And, of course, this being Christmas as well, think of all of the energy of life that we're going to surround ourselves with, the family, the friends, the energy of what's happening around us as people prepare for this sacred, holy time of year. Now, when I think of life, I think of the best way I can live my life is in peace. To have that feeling of peace. And, if you're like me, maybe you think of peace out there somewhere, out in the world. But what about the peace in here? What about the peace within ourselves? And there's a great scripture that we have from John where it says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." And this was Jesus in those moments leading up to his crucifixion, where he knew he was going, right? He knew it was before him. And this is like a lifeline to people. This peace is available within us. The peace I leave you, my peace I give to you. What he's saying is that he had somehow found peace in all of that. And the invitation is for us to experience that peace. It's not the only wisdom teacher that we can reflect that upon. The Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Peace comes from within. It's in here. It's in us. We have that ability to create the kind of peace that we want. And it requires something from us. It's not, when I think of, going back to my kids, when I think of children, that peace seems to be free to them. It's just there. And then as they age, as we age, we end up with all of this stuff, these rackets in our head, these conversations, these stories, these moments of suffering, pain, being rejected, being hurt by others, being hurt by ourselves, the things we say to ourselves, the things others say to us. And that takes that peace away. And maybe for you, if you're anything like me, maybe that peace gets replaced by some suffering. So how do we get that peace back? How do we find that peace? There's a story of about an old aging monk, and he's making a pilgrimage through the desert to the holy city of Jerusalem. Now, it was extremely hot during the day, and he's got quite a journey ahead of him, so it's more than just, a couple-hour walk. He's on this journey for a few days, and during the day, it's really hot. During the evening, it's terribly cold, and he's getting caught in some fierce sandstorms. Finally, the end of one of the days, he ends up at this inn, and he's having a meal. He's very happy to be at this point in his journey. and he's having a meal, and the innkeeper comes up and says, how is it that you could continue this walk onto journey, or onto Jerusalem? How is it that you would want to even do this or keep going? Like, what is it that has you face all of this adversity so that you could arrive in Jerusalem? The monk smiled and joyfully answered, my heart was there first, and now I'm just following. My heart was there first, and now I'm just following. Which begs the question for me, if we want this peace, we're looking for this peace that's not out there. Yes, I want peace in the world, of course. And I'm sure that's what you want, but it begins in here. It begins here. It begins in this energy of life that we have. So you might be thinking of peace in the world as something out there, but peace begins in our hearts. It's an inside job. You know, I often think of, what has me be on this ministerial path. And certainly there are some moments in my life where I have felt great pain, as I'm sure you have. And I'm sure you've experienced moments where it's like, what's the point? Why do I even bother doing this, whatever that thing is? Why do I even, support this person? Why do I even show up at this job? Why do I even bother? There was a moment for me when I was around 12 years old where I had this feeling of I'd be better off alone. I would be better off alone. And I thought that would bring me peace in that moment. As a 12-year-old boy, I didn't have all of the tools, all of the understanding, all of the knowledge and wisdom that I've been able to, grasp over the years since then. And so when I was 12, I made the best choice I could make. I decided that I would be better off alone. So anytime those moments came up where I was triggered in that kind of scenario, where something reminded me of that feeling that I had at that moment, that subconscious information that I stored away would come out and automatically run the show. I'd be better off alone. And that was my escape route. That was my way to move beyond that suffering in that moment. And as I've unpacked these things about myself, as I've looked over my life and these choices and these decisions that have stopped me from living my best life, from having that peace within, as I've done that, I've discovered that it is what's going on here. It is living within myself in a peaceful manner of uncovering the wounds, the hurts, the pain, and acknowledging those things and loving those that were in the moment, loving myself, forgiveness. If we could live our lives in that same frame as what Jesus taught us, which was to love one another, to forgive, to live in peace, that's what peace is. And it's through our own peaceful energy that we then create that. We then create that for others. So it's yes, we can march and rally for peace, and we can demonstrate and show that what we're looking for is peace. But it begins right here. This is the battlefield first. This is the groundwork to be done first. We do it here, and then we go out there from the inside out. It's an inside job. That's what it is. It's an inside job. And as we do that, we shine that light of peace, which allows others to see it, allows others to take that energy and maybe grow their confidence around it, to take that energy, absorb it, and use that energy for their own strength to demonstrate their peace. Truth is peace. The words we speak. Ever been on that? So, again, speaking from myself, there was a time where, little lies, the little lies, the little stories, little things that made me look better. We always want to look good for others, right? Oh, if I could just look better and, ruffle up the feathers, make it all look good for other people. And maybe, we tell a little lie here. And then next thing we have to tell another little lie to try to, sell that other lie. And it begins to grow and manifest into something that becomes an exasperation of it. It actually turns into something that suffers. We suffer from it because we're trying to keep this thing going that was not truth. And yet, when we just live from truth, when we just operate from truth, and I don't mean just mildly, but when we operate from truth, capital T, small t, however you want to spell it, it's that truth that sets us free, that gives us the peace. And what about when you hide truth, when you have that little thing that you're not telling somebody? Builds up in our head. We think there's no way they're ever going to forgive me. How can I go back to them? The longer it goes on, the longer we allow it to grow within ourselves, the worse it looks. There was a time where I had made a very poor financial decision, and with my wife didn't know. This is going back, I don't know, nine years ago or so. Anyhow, I made a poor financial decision, and it cost us a tidy sum of money. And I didn't want to tell her. I didn't want to alarm her. I also was embarrassed. There was all of this stuff around this. I was a financial advisor. I should have known better. All of this conversation, shaming myself, feeling bad about myself, hiding it. That was also eating away at me. More and more, I was growing distant in our relationship because this was playing more and more havoc within my own thinking, and it grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Finally, I had been suffering immense back pain, and finally, it broke. I had to say something, and I told my wife, Leslie, and she was like, "Okay, we'll get through it." But what doesn't work for me is that you held it from me. That doesn't work. The money, there's more money out there. We can make more money. We'll figure it out. But the withholding of the information, that's not workable. Again, I wasn't truthful. I wasn't letting her know what was going on. I had done something that affected her life as well as my life and the life of our kids. Our family was affected by this, and I was keeping it. And as you hide things, as you tell lies, as you aren't truthful either with yourself or with others, you dig this hole, right? That prevents you from moving forward powerfully with your life, that prevents the peace that you want. The peace that is available. The Buddha says the tongue, like a sharp knife, kills without drawing blood. What are the words we speak? What are the words we say to ourselves? These two can either create peace or take away peace. And in Mark 7:15, Scripture says there is nothing outside a person that by going in can defile, but the things that come out are what defile. The things that come out are what defile. This tells me both of those are speaking about truth, but they're also speaking about a life lived from our heart. Peace, creating peace within, having a presence within us that isn't reactionary, that isn't going to strike out, that isn't intended to get back at people. It's a life of love, of harmony, of truthfulness. That is peace. So I invite you today, I invite you to look, see where you can clean up some things. Look and see if there's any little messes that have been lingering around, either with work undone, incomplete, conversations that are incomplete, things within ourselves that we're telling ourselves. Look and see. It doesn't have to be anything big. It can just be a little mess that needs some cleaning, something that needs a little attention. That is the beginning of peace. And as we do those things, as we clean up those little messes and live powerfully forward, knowing how much power we have within our words, within our thoughts, and we work on cleaning that up and taking care of it, like it's precious. It is our legacy. It's our life force. That's peace. And from where I stand, what I see is that if I do that, if I take care of that, do my part to keep this in alignment with that, then there's a good chance I can influence somebody else. Influence is the wrong word. I can inspire somebody else to take that on for them. And they might inspire another and another. And they might inspire somebody who has the ability to reach thousands of people. So we don't know the connections that we might influence or inspire as we move forward. But we do know what we can do. That is our power, our action, our human action is within us to be able to live with that peace. I invite you to join me in meditation. And I have recently discovered a form of meditation that has been working very well for me. And it is very simple. It is silence in that there's no guided meditation for this. However, what I play is a bell, and the bell rings every 20 seconds. And it's a reminder to bring myself back in case there's a thought I've gone off on, to just bring myself back. And sometimes I have found that just listening to the bell, just hearing the bell, is what I can meditate on, allowing it to ring out, and then the bell comes again. So join me. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. Allow your feet to be on the ground. If you're sitting on the floor cross-legged, that's wonderful. If you're laying in a bed and you're looking up at the ceiling, that's fantastic. Whatever works for you to be comfortable. And we'll just begin with noticing our breath. And this affirmation: I live in alignment with the principles and practices that support my highest good. I claim health and vitality for my whole being. I am alive, and as such, I am peace. Allowing the bell to ring out and to be with it. gently bringing yourself back to this present moment. Stay in the moment with me. As I reaffirm, I live in alignment with the principles and practices that support my highest good. I claim health and vitality for my whole being. I am alive, and as such, I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. Now, deep inhale with me. Hold it, let it go. Let's do that again. And when we get to the top of our breath, let's hold on to that breath. So nice and deep. Here we go. And hold it, hold it, hold it, and let it out. Namaste.
Flickers in the sky. A tiny star lights up way up high. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. A silent wish sails the seven seas. The winds of change whisper in the trees, and the walls of doubt crumble, tossed and torn. This comes to pass when a child is born. A rosy dawn settles all around. You've got to feel you're on solid ground. For a spell of truth, no one seems forlorn. This comes to pass when a child is born. It's all a dream, an illusion now. It must come true sometime soon, somehow. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when the child is born. It's all a dream, an illusion now. It must come true sometime soon, somehow. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born.
I am excited to announce that we are planning to hold our first in-person service on Sunday, December the 19th at 11 a.m. It will be a Christmas candle lighting service, and the message will be delivered live rather than on video. We will wear masks, and attendees must be fully vaccinated. Of course, this is subject to change if there are any new guidelines regarding COVID-19, but at the moment, the plan is Sunday, December 19th at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it will be wonderful to see everyone in person again. For those who view from home on Sunday morning or who view the service later, we will also have an online Christmas service at 11 o'clock that day, which can be viewed as per usual on YouTube and Facebook. Please take note of our other Christmas season services, which will be online. Our annual sadness service will be at 7 p.m. on Thursday, December the 16th. And we will hold a 12 Powers candle lighting service on Christmas Eve, December 24th, also at 7 p.m. We will continue with online services until the middle of January, at which time we will revisit the possibility of resuming live services. Regardless, when we do return to a live service, rest assured that there will always be a service online as well. So if you're not quite ready to come back in person, or if your schedule doesn't permit being able to join us in person when we get back to that place, know that there will always be an online service for you. You are invited to join us on Mondays at 11 o'clock for our weekly prayer service. It is a time where we get together on Zoom and we connect with each other. We share how we are doing with each other. We move into a time of guided prayer. And we read the names of the people who are on our prayer list. And it is a time of renewal, of connection. It is a profound experience of recentering. And so I invite you to join us for that. And if you would like your name, or you know someone who you would like to have added to that prayer list, then please email us at unityofnewwestminster@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to have the person's name or your name added to our list. Mondays at 11. There are many ways to give to our ministry at Unity of New Westminster, and we are grateful for the financial support which we receive from regular as well as one-time donors. Your generosity helps us to support our ministry and continue to share inspiring ideas for full and abundant living. We also support organizations that serve people in our neighborhood, in our province, and in our nation. Donations can be made through Interac electronic transfer, credit card, check, or cash. Please give from your sense of appreciation and your feeling of abundance. And thank you for supporting Unity of New Westminster. I invite you now to hold whatever you feel blessed for in your hands, in your heart. Financial, family, roof over your head, food on the table, just whatever you are feeling blessed with as we sing our blessing song.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And we come to the end of another service. I thank you for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed your experience with us today. I wish you all a very, very blessed week. Goodbye, everybody.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God. You are the love of God. You are the power of God. You are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. You are the light of God. You are the love of God. You are the power of God. You are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God. We are the love of God. We are the power